Good evening, everyone. We are live from East Los Angeles College. I'm Albert Robles, thanking you for joining us for tonight's match. This evening, it's women's volleyball. The East LA Huskies welcome the visiting Tartars of Compton College. The Tartars have had a rough season so far, as they play today with a record of 0-9. The Huskies, having an almost equally difficult season, are 3-12 with a 10-game losing streak, and they're looking to get back in the win column tonight. It's Huskies versus the Tartars, and it's live right here on SportsNetUSA.net. And it looks like we're just waiting a little bit as our up ref is getting into position and down ref making sure that all of our players are into proper position before we get underway. And so Compton College won the flip of a coin, so they'll be starting the first serve here today. That serve just clears the tape. Cicchini with a great strike. Excellent spiking effort by Catherine Cicchini. She's going to get the first kill for East LA. Looks like that ball was roll touched by Celeste Valencia of Compton. Anita Lopez tried to punch it in, but that ball lands out of bounds. 2-0 our score. This is Bianca Ramirez serving for East LA. And a quick, easy score for Compton College. 2-1, and they'll take over serving duties. Alita Lopez now with service for the Tartars. That's going to be point East LA. Three to 1 now as Catherine Cicchini takes over for service. And that's off the hands of the Tartars for service ace for Catherine Cicchini. That was Jasmine Gomez with the kill. Lands just in front of number 7, Stevie Sproul. Five to 1 our score. And Sproul with the attack lands out of bounds. Ariana Zuniga tried to give a free ball to East LA. It does clear the net, but it lands out of bounds, and Huskies saw that all the way. Free ball for East LA. Ramirez sets. Melendez strikes, and that ball is inbound. Give a kill to Megan Melendez. And Coach Regadio Aubrey of Compton's going to call first timeout. We'll be right back with more volleyball action live right here on SportsNetUSA.net. About to get underway here as we exit our first timeout of the first set. Huskies lead 8-1. Strike by Sproul, saved by East LA. Gomez drops it in. Sproul attacks again. Cicchini sets. Free ball for Compton. Good attack, but ELAC recovers. Punched over by Melendez. And that's going to go into the net. Celeste Valencia, looks like she got a good ball on it. But that's going to be a point for East LA. Sproul attacks. Sails out of bounds. Ten to 1 our score. East LA dominating early so far. Sproul with the attack into the net. Juliana Garcia was right there, ready to block it if it came to it. But Sproul went ahead and did her a favor. And that's going to be a service there for Cicchini. Side out on East LA. Transitioning over to Compton serve now. This is Ariana Zuniga from Marco Antonio Fireball High School. Zuniga looked a little bit in pain there, rubbing her shoulder as she served. That was a service error, so that is a point for East LA. They do take over. This is Juliana Garcia. And we'll keep an eye on Zuniga as the match goes on. She did look in pain. That's going to be an ace for Garcia. That one off the hands of Stevie Sproul. 13-2 as Garcia serves. Sproul attacks. Nice defense at the net. Cicchini with the recovery. Melendez punches it over and lands in front of Zuniga. Ariana Zuniga had a good read on it, but it just goes off her hands. Free ball for East LA. Zasha Hayes could not play that off the net. (14-3) our score. Here's Sadia Escobar. Service error for Escobar as we transition back over. So Megan Melendez serving now. And that's an ace for East LA. Quick score adjustment here. 16-3. That was off of Sproul. Compton was able to recover, but unfortunately Zuniga could not get it over the net. Actually, correction, that was Escobar who couldn't get it back over the net. Zuniga was able to get a good set. Good dig by Sproul. She attacks, does get it over. Ramirez sets, Gomez strikes. That was too many touches on Compton. That's a point for East LA. 18-3s. Melendez continues to serve. Sproul attacks and gets the kill off the diving effort of Jessica Apodaca. 18-4 our score in this first set between the Huskies and the Tartars. Coming up now to serve in the rotation is Stevie Sproul. Unfortunately cannot clear the net. That's going to be a service error on Compton. Apodaca sets Ramirez. Cicchini, little fingertip over the net, drops in front of Genesis Mejia, who cannot recover. 20-4. It's Jaslyn Gomez continuing to serve and doing a good job. Dumped over by Compton. Zasha Hayes attacks and lands out of bounds. Good effort by Hayes. Just past the line. Serving now for Compton is number 9, Genesis Mejia. Mejia looks a little bit winded there. Is a service error. Of course, that will be a point for East LA. 21-5. Next in rotation is Apodaca. Of course, right now we can see Coach Elliot Walker, even though they're playing well, always going to be giving his players some advice and feedback on how well they're doing. Cicchini spikes and gets the kill. Looks like that was off the hands of Zuniga. Cicchini jumped, looking to get a good strong spike, but it goes into the net. Point for Compton, and we transition over to Tartar serve. Here is Celeste Valencia. Good serve and diving effort by Apodaca. Cicchini gives a free ball to Compton. Punched over by the Tartars. Melendez attacks. Good save by Sproul. Cicchini with another attack. Ooh, another good dig by Sproul. Free ball for East LA. Dumped over by East LA. But the refs see everything, and they rule a double hit on the Huskies. That's a point for the Tartars. Good serve by Valencia. Gomez. Correction, Garcia with the floating attack and the kill. 23-7 as Bianca Ramirez takes over serving duties for the Huskies. And that's going to be an ace for East LA. Drops right in front of the hands of Anita Lopez. Good dig by Lopez. Zuniga throws it over and out of bounds. That's going to be the end of our first set. Huskies 25, Tartars 7. That's going to take us to our first break in sets. Huskies taking a very quick and early lead and dominating in that first set by a score of 25-7, and of course now lead 1-0 overall. We'll be right back after this short break with more college volleyball action live on SportsNetUSA.net. And that concludes our first break in between sets. Just about to get underway with our second set here live from East Los Angeles College as the Huskies take on the Tartars of Compton College. I'm Albert Robles, thanking you for joining us here today. And if you're just joining us, you've missed a pretty dominant first set displayed by East LA as they took the first set by a score of 25-7 and look to continue their momentum here in the second set. Free ball for East LA. Ramirez sets. Melendez strikes and gets the kill. Quick and easy point for East LA as Ramirez continues to serve. Good, strong service. Zuniga dumps it over. Ramirez sets. Here's Garcia. Strikes off the hands of Sprawl for the kill for East LA. 2-0 our score. And that's going to be an ace for East LA. Wonderful service ace for the Huskies. Went right into the hands of Mejia, who looked to be all over it, but could not come up with it. And another service ace, back-to-back aces for the Huskies. That looked like it was off of Anita Lopez that time. And another ace for the Huskies. Back-to-back-to-back aces for Ramirez. And that streak's going to come to an end as the Huskies will be called on a side out. Point for the Tartars. Here's Anita Lopez serving now. Good strong serve, saved by Apodaca. Cicchini punches it over. Sprawl, free ball for East LA. Melendez sails it out of bounds. Point Tartars. And Lopez going to fish the ball out of the stands. striked by Cicchini, and a good block at the net by the Tartars. 5-3. So far, Tartars managing to keep pace in this second set. Nice dig by Apodaca. Cicchini with the attack. Blocked at the net by Sprawl. Set by Apodaca. Free ball for the Tartars. Lands out of bounds. Point Compton. Coach Walker being very vocal with his team, reminding him to keep focused. Good save by Apodaca. Melendez. Inbounds. Good, strong spiking attack. Just soared past the head of Genesis Mejia. Good job by Valencia to get the ball over. Suarez. Diving effort by Lopez. Couldn't get the ball back up in the air as it falls out of bounds for an East LA point. Good dig by Sprawl. Valencia sets. Sprawl attacks. Clears the net. Saved by Ramirez. Free ball, Compton. Sprawl. Good block at the net by East LA. Set from Apodaca. Melendez. Excellent block by Sprawl. Free ball, Compton once again. Free ball, Tartars, Lopez. Another free ball for East LA. Ramirez sets. Suarez attacks and lands at the feet of Genesis Mejia. Point East LA. Good fingertip by Sprawl. Sprawl again attacks. Lands in bounds just past Catherine Cicchini. Was looked at it land. Eight to 5 in our second set. As Sadia Escobar takes over. Good strong serve from Escobar. Melendez tips it over, backed over the net by Compton. And a double hit called on Compton. Point for the Huskies. It's Juliana Garcia now for East LA. Valencia sets and attacked into the net by Mejia. Good dig by Sprawl. And that's going to be a wipe. Excellent attack by Sprawl to get her team another point. Brings them back within 4 in the second set. Apologies, this is Sadia Escobar. Previously it was Zuniga. And a service error called on Escobar. Looks like her foot crossed the line. Official immediately raised the flag upon that serve. And back-to-back service errors. That error on Melendez gives service back over to the Tartars. Stevie Sproul now. Good dig by Cicchini. Sasha Hayes sends it over. Lopez strikes into the net. Here's Nayeli Suarez now. Zuniga looked to have gotten the dig, but it wasn't a clean dig as it goes sailing out of bounds with Sproul trying to get it back. And a service error on Suarez gives the ball back to Compton. Mejia looked a little bit exhausted on that serve there. No power behind it. 14-8 our score in the second set. Zapadaka will serve now for the Huskies. Good strong serve and out of bounds off the hands of Sproul. Service ace for Apodaca. And into the net. A service ace followed up with a service error for the Huskies. 15-9 our score. Tartars down by 6. Good serve by Valencia. And a great attacking effort by Juliana Garcia. That ball off the very hands of Celeste Valencia. Back-to-back aces. $17-9 our score so far. And the Tartars call a timeout. We'll be right back in just a minute with more volleyball action live right here on SportsNetUSA.net. And that's going to be the end of our timeout as we resume action in our second set right here from East Los Angeles College. Once again, my name is Albert Robles, thanking you for joining us here for tonight's broadcast as the Huskies do take on the Tartars of Compton College. It's Bianca Ramirez with the serve for East LA. Compton does put it over. Melendez gets a great dig. Cicchini attacks, saved by Sproul. Lopez attacks. And Apodaca had an eye on it all the way and watches it sail out of bounds. East LA 9-point lead in the second set. Good dig by Sproul. Lopez dumps it over. Free ball, East LA. Garcia. Good dig by Sproul. Lopez strikes again. Tipped over at the net. Sproul attacks. Saved by Ramirez. Apodaca sets Melendez. Dumped over by Zuniga. Cicchini. Great save by Sproul. Lopez attacks again. Saved by Melendez. Melendez punches it over. Zuniga does save it for Compton. Cicchini with attack. Strong spike and sails out of bounds. This is Anita Lopez for the Tartars. Clearly a bit of miscommunication there. Juliana Garcia was all set for the spike. Lets it drop behind her. And a side out by the Tartars gives the ball right back to East LA. Cicchini with a good serve. Dug out by Lopez. Sproul attacks. Saved by Suarez. Cicchini punches it over. Digged out by Valencia. And drops in front of Genesis Mejia. Valencia made a good set. The Tartars unable to do anything with it. Suarez with the kill. Excellent attack by Nayeli Suarez. Puts the Huskies up by 10. East LA 4 points away from closing out the second set. Sproul attacks, dug out by Apodaca. Suarez tips it over, keeps it in bounds. Celeste Valencia made a great diving effort to keep that ball up in the air, but comes up just short. Great spike by Sproul. Just goes off the hands of Bianca Ramirez. And a substitution here. Brianna Romero coming in for Catherine Cicchini. This is Ariana Zuniga. Good strong serve from Zuniga. Ramirez sets Suarez, dips it over, saved by Sproul. Goes into the net. And Sproul giving a patting indication on her chest, indicating that that was her bad. Punched over by Lopez. Suarez in bounds. Great eyes by the line ref. And a wonderful spike and kill for Nayeli Suarez. This is Juliana Garcia now. 1 point away from closing the second set. Good dig by Lopez. Sproul attacks. Garcia saves. Suarez once again. No. Spikes it into the net for a Compton point. Tartars down by 11 as Sadia Escobar takes over serving duties. Huskies getting vocal. Little floating serve by Escobar. Zuniga off the hands, way out of bounds. Compton not keeping that one in the air. And that's going to close out our second set. Huskies take the second set with a score of 25-13. Huskies staying dominant in this game so far as they took the first set 25-17. Much closer this time around, but really not by much as the Huskies took that second set 25-13. Tartars were able to keep pace most of the time that second set until the Huskies were able to go on a fairly decent point run to gain their massive lead and close out that second set. I'm Albert Robles. We'll be right back after this break for our third set right here live on Sportsnet USA.net. And we're back live from East Los Angeles College for more women's volleyball as the East Los Angeles College Huskies take on the Compton College Tartars. That buzzer here does indicate the end of the first break, and we're about to get underway for what could possibly be our third and final set of the evening as the Huskies lead in sets, score of 2-0. Tartars taking over serving duties now. Celeste Valencia was on the serve. Nelly Suarez puts it over the net, just barely gets it over the tape, and it's off the hands of Anita Lopez. Huskies go up by 1. It's Megan Melendez now. Sproul gives it over, free ball for the Huskies. Apodaca sets. Suarez dumps it, free ball. And sets it into the net by Celeste Valencia. Tartars visibly confused there. Good dig by Sproul, who punches it over. Free ball for the Tartars, set by Valencia. Zasha Hayes attacks and gets the kill. Punched over by Suarez. Attacked by Sproul. Good dig by Melendez. Collision and miscommunication by the Tartars there. Unable to recover in another point for East LA. Good dig by Sproul, who sends it back over all in one dig. Punched over by Suarez, saved by Valencia. Lopez, free ball for East LA. Hayes attacks, just over the net. And falls in front of Escobar. And a side out for Melendez. Service error on East LA. gives the Tartars their first point. And it's Lopez now with serving duties. Zasha Hayes attacks, saved by Lopez. Sproul, out of bounds on Compton. Here's Nally Suarez now. And an ace for the Huskies. Genesis Mejia could not keep that in the air. Zuniga tips it over. Cicchini strikes. And a good dig by Lopez. And Escobar gets a hand on it, who's able to put it back over. Interesting set. Escobar gets it back over again. Cicchini tips. Escobar does get a hand on it. Valencia sets free ball for East LA. Suarez with a save. Zasha Hayes attacks. Nice recovery by the Tartars. Free ball for ELAC. Tipped over again by Compton. Great effort by Sproul there. Sproul with a good block at the net. Goes off the hands of Zasha Hayes. Gets the Tartars their second point in this third set. Down by 5. As Ariana Zuniga is up next. And a spike by Catherine Cicchini lands at the feet of Anita Lopez. Catherine Cicchini, of course, the team leader in kills for East LA, so it's no surprise that she's racking them up tonight. Sproul with the attack. Gets it over the net and the point. Up next, Sadia Escobar. Floating serve, falls short in front of the net. Service error on Compton. Gives East LA 6-point lead. Bianca Ramirez now. Good strong serve by Ramirez, just clears the nets. Sproul attack, saved by Apodaca. Cicchini with the attack. And out of bounds it goes. Point Tartars. Aggressive play there by East LA. Fortunately, that play does not go their way. Sproul with the serve. Saved by Gomez. Melendez attacks. Lopez with the save. Looks like there's a little miscommunication there. Valencia looked to be setting up Sproul, but it's Escobar who tries to tip it over, but it sails it into the net. Cicchini serving now. Good strong serve by Cicchini. Valencia gets it over the net. Melendez attacks. Just tipped over. Escobar gets it back over, and it goes out of bounds. Punched by Garcia into the net. Tartars down by 6, 11-5. Our score in this third set. Romero coming in, Cicchini exiting. Mejia with serving duties. And a service error for Mejia. Just couldn't get enough behind it. Juliana Garcia up next. Nice serve from Garcia. ELAC with the attack. Punched over by Melendez. And Tartars unable to recover. It was almost a service ace for East LA. And the Tartars will call a timeout. We'll be right back in just over a minute with more action live right here on SportsNetUSA.net. And that concludes the first timeout for the Tartars here in this third set. East LA leading Compton 13-5 in this set as Juliana Garcia continues service. Good dig by Sproul. Tipped over by Valencia. Ramirez with the set. Melendez with the attack and the kill. Just past the throw-down hand by Sproul. And a service error on Garcia. Valencia now. Nice floating serve, saved by Apodaca. Zasha Hayes strikes, tips it over the net, and falls in front of several Tartar defenders. Point, East LA. This is Megan Melendez here. East LA was looking to get a substitution, but the refs whistle it off, as it was not done in time. And a side out. Point Tartars. Anita Lopez here. Dug by Apodaca. Suarez sails it into the net. Tartars down by 7. Still have a chance to at least avoid getting swept if they can get a good point run here. Suarez attacks off the hands of Lopez and sails out of bounds. Substitutions here. Suarez out, as well as Romero. Gomez and Cicchini in. And it's Jaslyn Gomez who is now serving for East LA. Good save by Mejia. Sproul attacks and into the net. Sproul has been one of the better hitters for Compton, so it's very surprising that she couldn't get that one over. Sproul attacks. There she gets it over. Cicchini off of Mejia. Give that kill to Catherine Cicchini once again. East LA up by 10 with a score of 18-8. Sproul attacks. Blocked at the net by Zasha Hayes. Up by 11 now. And that's an ace for Jaslyn Gomez. Good effort by Sproul. Valencia gets it back over. Gomez sets. Cicchini, free ball for Compton. Valencia attacks. Ramirez punches it over. Sproul attacks. Saved by Apodaca. Clears the net. Recovered by Lopez. Sproul again. Just off her fingertips. Could not make a good connection, and she puts it into the net. It was a good defensive effort by the Tartars, but unfortunately does not go their way. Good recovery by the Tartars there, almost an ace. Hayes attacks, punches it in, saved by Zuniga. Sproul attacks, clears the tape, and lands in bounds right at the feet of Jaslyn Gomez. Ariana Zuniga here. And a service error. Zuniga had a good string of serves up until that point. Huskies 3 points away from sweeping the Tartars. Good save by Lopez. Valencia made a good diving effort to get a good set and comes up short. 23-9 our score. Good strong serve by Apodaca. Free ball for East LA, sails out of bounds. (24-9). Huskies 1 point away from closing out this match. Good set by Valencia, and punched into the net by Anita Lopez. And that is going to do it. The Huskies sweep the Tartars in the third and final set with a score of 25-9 and will win this match 3-0 over Compton. Good, strong effort by both teams. Obviously, Compton Tartars playing short as they only had 6 players the entire match and 0 subs. So much credit to that team for playing with all their heart that match. And a good, strong win displayed by East LA. Coming up next in their schedule, the Tartars this weekend, or rather on the 25th, as I'm looking at it, they'll be playing Mount Sac. That'll be a makeup game from both the 15th of October and the 15th of September. So 2 makeup games there. First will be at 5:30 p.m. Second game will be at 7 p.m. for the Tartars. And for your East LA Huskies, after today, On Wednesday the 27th, they'll be at Rio Hondo College for a 6 p.m. serve. And after that, they'll be back home on the 3rd of November for a match against LA Harbor, also at 6 p.m. That match, of course, will be viewable live right here on SportsNetUSA.net. That is going to do it for us here tonight. I'm Albert Robles, thanking you for joining us this evening for women's volleyball action, all right here live on SportsNetUSA.net. Have a good night.